The NHL trade deadline is almost here, only less than a couple days away, and the St. Louis Blues have made no moves despite some rumors that were said this morning. But real concern is a looming because, well, folks, there's simply not enough time for the St. Louis Blues, and I don't know if they're going to be doing much of anything. This is all coming up here on Locked On Blues.
You're Locked On Blues, your daily podcast on the St. Louis Blues. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, welcome back to Locked On Blues. I am your host of Locked On Blues, Haley Taylor Simon, talking to you all things about our St. Louis Blues, here a part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. So I'm live right now. It is March 6th, 7:37 Eastern. I'm actually in Florida on a vacation. And the reason why I'm announcing the time of this podcast is because at any minute, something could happen with the Blues. And I just want to make sure that you know that this is being filmed before anything happened before the Blues had a trade or anything like that. So, anywho, I want to get your thoughts and I want to get your reactions because I think that this is something where obviously a lot's happened in the NHL today. No doubt about it. And there's a lot of eyes on certain Blues players, so I'm going to talk about that. I am also going to talk about if the Blues can bounce back. We're going to also still focus on the season, right, and not just the trades. And of course, we're going to talk about why this is the best week in the NHL. So stick with me. It'll be a fun episode today. And so this is from Frank Savera. I always Sir Valley, and Frank is one of my favorite NHL experts. Daily Faceoff, so much that he does. Right now, he says sources says the St. Louis Blues have signaled they're willing to get creative and retain up to half on Pavel Buchnevich's in order to juice a return. So this is interesting because retaining 50%, that's again what the Philadelphia Flyers with Kevin Hayes, and you can kind of see how that worked out. So one thing that right now that Frank is doing, he created a list, right? And Pavel Buchnevich is number 5 on the list. And he talked about, he has 1 year remaining, 5.8 million AAV. And, it's basically indicating, right, that Bushi could be going to another team. People are thinking they're Hurricanes, and that's a big one. But right now, a lot of eyes are on Pavel Buchnevich. And as I said, the reason why this episode, it's so important that I am live, it's important that I'm documenting the times of when I am doing this, is because very well something could go down. Now, originally heading into this, I call it the trade deadline week. That's my little nickname for it. I felt a Colton Parayko would be a guy that could potentially be traded. And again, on Twitter, I know like a guy said, Justin Scott said, hey, why do you want a trade to happen? Is it just because you want the Blues to have a trade? No, I want the Blues to make a trade so they can free up some cap space or bring in some young prospective talent. So we'll see. Another thing that happened today in the NHL was our boy Vladimir Tarasenko, who was on the Ottawa Senators, who used to be a St. Louis Blue, is now on the Florida Panthers, and he's playing with Matthew Tkachuk. And that feels wrong. It feels like they should be playing here and not in the state that I'm in right now in Florida. So that was interesting as well. But I'm a little surprised about everything that is happening on right now. I mean, every other team seems to be making some moves. And right now, the number one guy's name is Pavel Buchnevich. And can you blame me? I mean, what do you think? And right now, fans want to trade Kyrou. That's been going around a lot. I've been seeing as well. It's like, "Oh, let's go trade Jordan Kyrou." I don't think they're gonna trade, Rosie, I don't. I really can see Bushi being traded, especially to a team like the Canes or maybe even like the Rangers. Back to the Rangers again. Um, I just don't think he's gonna be a St. Louis Blue past Friday. And I know they play the Devils tomorrow on March 7th. Could that be his last game? It's being on the Blues? Maybe. And it's funny, like a month ago, I really thought Colton Parayko was gonna be the guy that was gonna get traded. Now, obviously, you can trade multiple guys, right? I just don't think the Blues are gonna trade that many players just because that's a little tough. Scandella's another name too that I've been hearing as well that could potentially get moved, and I'm trying. So, yeah, Parayko, Sundqvist's name is still coming up. A lot of the guys' names are still kinda coming up, so a lot of these NHL insiders keep on giving possible scenarios, and I think as a fan right now, if I was looking at it from that perspective, I would say, okay, if you trade a player like Parayko, who's very valuable and offers a lot to the team, then you're basically saying, "Okay, let's tank. Let's try to get a good draft pick," right? If you're trading a guy like Buchnevich, while Bushi is good and I respect him, I still think that the team could still be okay. I don't know. I it's just weird, right? Like with everything that went down today with all these different teams in the NHL. Like you have the Golden Knights doing things, the Panthers, obviously. Philadelphia did some stuff. Uh, Colorado. A lot of teams are doing these trades, which is fine. It's Wednesday, right? Trade deadline is until Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. So there is still time. But again, I'm going to be realistic with you. If nothing gets done, I am gonna be upset because I know, some of these guys are gonna be unrestricted free agents, and I understand that, but it's also like, don't you wanna get some value out of these players besides them just walking away? And I think that's, like, the most key thing is what can Doug Armstrong do to get as much value from his players? And I think that, right now, you look at the team, they're not playing good hockey. It's alright, but it's not good. They're probably not gonna make it to the playoffs. So you might as well try to do something positive with the season, and that's getting value in return. And these players, listen, do they scream first round draft pick? No. Do they scream getting a star player back in return? No. But you could get a nice second round draft pick first. I mean, for some, you could probably get a first round draft pick, let's be honest. It depends on what the deal is. But you could also free up some calorie and cap space. You could free up some cap space. I said calorie. You could free up some cap space. You could then get some nice draft picks. Maybe a good player. I would try to get younger, but I just think that right now, this is the time to put a guy out there. But having rumors coming out, especially from such credible sources like Frank Savirli, who is basically said, "Hey, listen, the Blues will retain Pavel Buchnevich's 50% of his contract." That's insanity to retain 50% of his salary when the same thing obviously happened this summer with Kevin Hayes and the Flyers, where, the Blues got Hayes and Philadelphia, retained 50%. And it's like everybody here in St. Louis said, "Oh, that was a steal." It's because it is a steal. You're basically giving another team one of your players. I mean, listen, I think that something's going to happen. Okay. I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh, I don't think anything's going to happen." I think there is going to be a trade that's going to happen. I just think that this trade may not be as big of a blockbuster trade as some of these other ones going on right now. And it's because the Blues are also not in a spot where it's like they're going to win the cup again, right? Now, they could make it to the wild card spot, right? But I don't know. Like I could see Scandella, Sundqvist, um, Bushi. He could be one. And, you can't like, Shen's obviously not, Folk isn't, Krug isn't. Oh, Vegas just did something. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna tell you what the Golden Knights did. This is a crazy week. But first, I do want to tell you about my friends over at Sleeper. It's almost the halfway point. Well, it is past the halfway point of the NHL season, Blues fans. And right now, this team, well, they might be making some trades and they still need to win. Regardless of where we are in the current standings, I want to remind you that you can win big by playing daily fantasy hockey on Sleeper, the official daily fantasy app of the Locked On NHL Network. Sleeper is our number one choice for daily fantasy sports and especially daily fantasy hockey, because with Sleeper, you can win 100 times your cash in daily fantasy hockey contests. And this is where you have players like Jordan Kyrou or Braden Shen, Jordan Bennington, Robert Thomas. I'm trying to think of like who could give you the best, like Jake Neighbors. He could as well. Maybe a Zach Bolduc even. Could record more or less in their sleeper projections for things like goals, assists, saves, plus minus, and more in a given game. To win 100 times bet on Sleeper, you need to correctly predict the outcome of 8 player stats. You heard me, Blues fans. You can win 100 times your money playing daily fantasy hockey with Sleeper. So start paying attention and nailing your picks so you can start winning big. Use promo code LOCKEDONNHL and you'll get up to $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. That's code LOCKEDONNHL. See Sleeper's terms of use for details and locational availability. So, a breaking news. I wish I had like a breaking news sound. Hold on. We're gonna make this legit. Okay, we're gonna do some breaking news right now. Noah Hannafin in Vegas. Noah. I'm looking more about it. What the Golden Knights are doing. Yep, it's official. The Flames did trade Noah Hannafin to Vegas. Wow. That is insane. That is wow. I mean, yeah, I guess they haven't done anything wrong. Because Mark's gonna car and things like that. And I'm sure, still will be okay when the playoffs begin. But that is insane. I am actually shocked that happened. I know this is a Blues podcast, right? This is happening in the NHL right now where you're having players. The Golden Knights continue to use the shady. There's still rumors that the Golden Knights might come after now. Okay. Wow. That was my initial reaction. Wow. I know. Wow. So wow. That's like kind of like cheating. And now there's rumors that the Golden Knights are going to be going after Bush. So, yeah. Crazy. So, I guess I'll just flip my topics. This is why this is my favorite week of hockey, because madness is happening. It's insane. Rob says Army is nuts if he trades 89. I think he's still going to trade Bushi. I really do. I don't think that you would get a statement out there saying that they would retain 50%. of his salary if they didn't want to trade him. Because that's a lot, and that's entering desperation mode, okay? Right now, the market is wild. I can't believe Vegas did that. I can't believe I did a segment on what Vegas did, kind of, but this is what I'm saying. Right now, it's just madness in the NHL. Oh my goodness. Oh no, there's new stuff with the Devils happening. Yeah, everything is happening right now. I'm gonna be honest. Tarasenko is now gonna wear number 10 on the Panthers. Oh my gosh. And Rob said, get ready to call him nuts because he will go. What is happening in the NHL right now? Everything is like happening. Like the Rangers are making a trade at the moment. The Devils are making a trade at the moment. Everybody's making a trade except St. Louis. So right now, I don't necessarily know what exactly is happening. I mean, I'm looking at this live right now. How is it that every single player in the NHL that was talked about being traded is being traded, except for anything with the Blues? I mean, 50% of his contract is insane. Wow. Wow. That is madness. Absolute madness. Vegas took advantage of the cap rule. I'm sorry, but they did. And now Parayko's name is being brought up again. It just the rumors are not going to stop, and that's what it is. Wow, I can't believe Vegas did that. Cheaters. All right, I'm going to tell you about Indeed. No matter how the game last night went, anytime you take the field and you've got a shot at the greatness, give your team the best shot at winning by recruiting more MVPs with Indeed. If you're hiring, you need Indeed because Indeed is the hiring partner where you can attract, interview, and hire all in one place. And Indeed is the only job site where you're guaranteed to find a quality application to meet your must have requirements, or else you don't pay. Instead of spending hours on multiple job sites hoping to find candidates with the right skills you need with powerful hiring, partnering tools, Indeed can help you. One thing I love about Indeed is that the website is super easy to use and they truly do allow you to hire the best candidate. So, this is what I need you to do. Start hiring right now with $75 sponsored job credit to upgrade your job post at Indeed.com/locked on. Offer valid through March 31st. Go to Indeed.com/locked on to claim your $75 credit before March 31st. Indeed.com/locked on. Terms and conditions apply. Need a hire? You need Indeed. Okay. Oh, some comments in the chat I cannot read because some inappropriate words. But hey, listen, I respect the passion that everybody has right now. So I want to also gear my shift back as I know we're talking about the trade deadline about the Blues and the Devils tomorrow. It's going to be the tilt around 7 p.m. Eastern time, 6 p.m. our time. And Devils, as I mentioned before, they're not like a team that's like super duper scary, but they're also a team where, they do have some good young talent. They, just fired their head coach. So there's a lot of change going on right now with the Devs. And I think that the Blues do have a good shot at beating them. That was an unfortunate loss against the Islanders, and there's not much more I can say about that one. Um, the Blues should have won. And, they're not favored to win whatsoever. It's looking a little bit messy, but I think overall, when you have a team like the St. Louis Blues that are in desperation mode, because the thing is, the Devils, like, we know they're not going to get to the playoffs, right? It's kind of like at that point in the season where it's like they're not going to get it. And the Blues right now, if you look at our lovely Central Division, 67 points because the Nashville Predators won like 8 games in a row and then they ended up losing. So that's good. So they're stopped just a little bit. But it's unbelievable. Okay? It is unbelievable what is happening right now with the National Hockey League, especially being so close um to the playoff, right? And, let's be honest right now. The St. Louis Blues, and I hate this so much, um, they have 67 points, and Nashville right now has the second wild card spot in the West with 73 points. So let's do some math, you and I. Let's go say the Nashville Predators never won a hockey game for the rest of the season again, and the Blues had to catch up to them. 67? Okay. So 69, 71, 73, 75. That means 4 games win if Nashville didn't win anything. So what you need to do right now is you need to root for the fall of the Nashville Predators so the Blues can get that second wild card spot. Because right now the Seattle Kraken are right behind the Blues with 67 points. Then you have the Flames with 65. Then you have the Wild with 64. So it's really tough right now. And if the Blues seriously don't continue to win, then they're going to be eliminated. I just can't help but think about the Eastern Conference, and I know that, this is all about the West, but I mean, they just are racking up a lot more points than our guys out West, and it's still a close race. So the Blues need to beat the Devils, and when do the Predators play again? Because we are actively going to root for the downfall of the Nashville Predators, okay? They play the Buffalo Sabres tomorrow. Buffalo, not a good team, okay? Not a good team. But tomorrow, what you and I are going to hope for is for Buffalo to be a good team. We're going to really hope that Buffalo, they just play some good hockey. So we're going to all be Sabres fans for the sake of tomorrow. And we're going to hope that the Blues beat the Devils and the Sabres beat the Preds. So that is the plan. All right. As of now, I just checked. There has been no trades that have gone down yet. So, yeah, I guess time will tick. And hopefully by tomorrow's episode, we have a little bit of a trade. All right. I will talk to you tomorrow. And like always, how I end every single episode, let's go Blues.